Yeah, this is my book. Um, this is cover. Cover painting is done by me. Uh, here is a thing. For this book is for uh, great designers who move culture, society, and economy. Here, this page, the first page, I say visual appropriateness enhances knowledge, and visual ambiguity promotes thinking. That's what I believe, and I also teach. My pedagogy is based on this appropriate visual and ambiguous visual. Also, this respectively dedicate this book to Professor Jerry Samerson, my advisor for the MFA thesis, who taught me the importance of a basic design while concentrating on my studies at California State University, Fullerton. So design is created from the essential visual communication mindset of the designer and the client who employs the designer. It is when designing a spice jar package, a typical designer thinks of a package design that can compete with other condiments on supermarket shelves. But professional designers think that differently. Professional designers think not on the shelf alone, but you are thinking how that spice jar packaging design will look in consumers' kitchens. And you have to think about that. And also how that package design related to the interior of the house. How related to the neighborhood, and how we related to the region, and how related to the culture and the environment and so on. So it's not for just the shelves, or just the shelf, but it should be adopted with the culture and living. So in the first chapter, I was talking about visual communication. Understanding how we communicate with the visuals, how the eyes function, basic understanding of visual communication, relationship between form and function, VIP, features of visual communication. Then I was talking about, basic visual components. Our environment consists of points, lines, and planes, and volumes. Normal human eyes perceive the environment only as objects. However, designers need to view the environment as the basic visual components to analyze the design and environment properly. So we're showing here, points, lines, and the different categories of line, planes, polygons, and the volume. The next chapter, I am talking about I'm emphasis on basic visual characteristics. Size, shape, texture, pattern, and color, tone, contrast, which are the basic visual characteristics of design, allow us to interpret and perceive visual information. So here, the dimension and proportion, shapes, texture, pattern, color, hue are those. In the third chapter, I'm talking about the emphasis on visual interaction. Design must first consider essential visual components and visual characteristics in studying visual interaction. If basic visual components are basic elements that convey visual communication, visual characteristics can make visual components in the desired direction. And visual interaction means an interaction that gives a function that enables communication to visual components with the visual characteristics. So different ways of visual interaction, showing some of my students' work. Visual interaction, we look utilizing the function of eyes. So visual attention, visual hierarchy are important aspects of layout. And next chapter, I'm talking about very important, the Gestalt, the 4 aspects of Gestalt. The viewer might have a look at this image and try to determine what it is. So what is a perception that makes judgment possible? Perception is a dynamic process by which the brain interprets and organizes information received through the senses to make sense of the world, influenced by experience, knowledge, and expectation to create meaningful experiences of the world. In other words, perception is the ability to discern the principle or reason of things through the sense organs. So these are some of the works done by my students. So proximity, similarity, continuity, and closure are examined in this chapter. The next chapter, the figure-ground relationship. Designers developed differentiated designs by experimenting with images and typography as communication tools. Here you can see the figure ground frame that which makes different ways to communicate. You know, there's a stable figure ground relationship, reversible figure ground relationship, ambiguous figure ground relationship, which should be controlled by designers. The next one is a law of pregnance. So here, designers design maps in the functional and simplified form. Maps are fragments to guess the map and location of a place and compare with other countries worldwide. So pregnance is a very important aspects of designing icons and logos and stuff like that. So that's what we learn in that chapter. The next one is a color structure. So color is a very important aspect because color influences mood and behavior. Designers can use color to change how people perceive a product, company, evoke mood, and convey symbolism. So I explained the function of color, physical properties of color, both RYB and CMY. So the 3 visual properties of color are explained here: color wheel, and the color variations, color system, color palette. Different ways to do color palette. It's hard to hold right now. So consciously we can select colors to communicate different mood and feelings and the message. So I also, show this in AI and Photoshop, how easy to select colors, ways you can select colors, much easier than long ago. Now with the AI and Photoshop, it is very easy. And next chapter, I'm explaining the image structure. So in order to create image, you have to understand and determine the three categories: a literal image, symbolic image, and abstract image. So students learn how to create image, not just to copy image, but intellectually, purpose and communication purpose, you can create uh, the image accordingly. So there are types of images you can consider. Some of the images have, based on imagination, helps the imagination. So for example, here, the nature, but you can see heart in the shape of a negative shape of the leaves. So some of the works. Then here, the spatial structure I'm talking about, the space is very important now, how to integrate space. So interaction and order by proportion. And what's proportion to designer? How we implement a proportion, creative proportion into our design. And I'm showing the examples of work. Then the last chapter I explain the concept of time. Time is very important. After space, we have to understand how to manipulate or how to control the time. So this is the different ways we can learn the time change the material, time change the nature, time change design, and so on. So at the last chapter of my book, you can see different learning exercises. So you can exercise and understand those chapters, those principles by doing these learning exercises. So this is a picture of classes in my classes learning. So here you can see theoretical background, which chapter you can go, and then what's the mission for this exercise, and the process, learning process, step 1, step 2, step 3, and what is important, you have to note it. So here, this learning exercise 1, make references for point and line. Exercise 2, exercise 3, and these are the students' work, the best work, so which are outstanding. So here 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh, it's at the very last chapter, and 16, and that's it. And then we have references and contributors. There are index, both Korean and English. So this book, as you notice, that this book is dual language, Korean and English, to help my students understand the English is very important in design field, because the design is mostly adopted and into business and the economy from USA. So this book is well used in my class and well published, and many beginning courses in Korea now use this book. So again, I show you, and let me show you the inside again. Very small and handy. You can carry around everywhere very easily. So students don't have to carry heavy book. Then also can put it in their backpack easily. And And this was being very useful for my students to understand the basic principles of visual communication.